What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so I know I'm a little bit late to the dance with this particular video, but I want to give my thoughts on a fight that was perhaps the most anticipated fight since Mayweather Pacquiao back in May of 2015. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford. A matchup at 147 of two of the most brilliant fighters of their generation. This is supposed to have been a battle. This is supposed to have been a fight literally to the draw between two of the most skilled fighters in the world. Instead, what we got was a one-sided beat-down domination, which was orchestrated by Bud Crawford. I mean, I wasn't anticipating that. I thought that it was going to be a pretty close fight. Now, most people know that Bud tends to give away rounds, early rounds, and it's kind of reminiscent of Mayweather a little bit, in that he kind of gives away early rounds because he's trying to figure out his opponent. But once he starts figuring out your style or your tendencies, that's when Bud starts offensively beginning to become more aggressive, counterpunching and taking away what the other guy's best weapon was. And I think when it comes to Errol Spence, I don't follow box like I used to, but I think his best punch, I believe, is his left hand. And Bud Crawford took it away from him. But the thing that that was striking to me in this fight was how off Errol Spence looked. I mean, quite honestly, I know Bud's a bad man, but he made Errol Spence look like an amateur. An amateur. I was stunned by this performance. I mean, I wouldn't even been surprised if Bud had won the fight. But yeah, you might see like a late stoppage or something, but you still could see Spence getting it, whooping his ass in some rounds, you know what I mean? But instead, I wasn't sitting there scoring the fight, but I'm just off the top of my head. Off the top of my head, I only can think of one round that I thought Errol Spence definitively won, and that was the first round. Now, I'm not saying there weren't other rounds that you can say he make an argument they didn't win, but that's the only round I can really think of. The first one, when Bud was adjusting and not throwing as many punches. That's the only round I can really think of that I would say Bud lost. Like, definitively lost. Like, no questions about it. But not only did Errol Spence look slow, he looked, for the first time, unsure of himself, especially after the second knockdown. He was fighting backwards, which is definitely not his style. And he looked uncoordinated. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to use excuses. Because I don't like when boxing fans do that. I don't like when they make excuses. Like, oh, well, the only reason why I lost is, well, you weren't saying that before the fight. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sit here and use anything as an excuse. But I do wonder now if there's any truth to the speculation that maybe Errol Spence did have some sort of residual neurological damage from that car accident that he was in, maybe. But at the same time, would we have been hearing about this had he won? So I don't know, man. I just think at the end of the day, We just got to give it up to a dude in Bud Crawford, man, that just had an unbelievable performance at this point, man. And he had an unbelievable performance. And I couldn't hate on him. I wasn't really particularly going for any particular fighter. I just wanted to see a good fight. But man, that was a beatdown, man. It was a beatdown, man. And no matter how you feel about the whole Bud versus Spence thing, Bud versus Spence thing, at the end of the day, you gotta give that man his credit. I do want to say this though. I really have a problem with fair weather boxing fans. And there are a lot of so-called fans of Errol Spence that have turned on him, creating all these stupid-ass memes. It's amazing, man, how a lot of people, not saying who, but a lot of people have all this energy. All this energy for their own kind. And love to ridicule their own kind. I mean, it just, we always see this shit, man. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I can understand somebody making a good joke here or there, down the line, but to pounce on a dude, I mean, I just never understood. I've never seen a group of people, and when I say people, I mean these social media misfits, who love to pounce on a dude at his weakest moment. With memes and all of this shit, man, and, belittling the dude, calling him a bum and all this shit, right? This shit I'll be talking about. This man could have died in the ring, right? Could have died in the ring. Same thing with Deontay Wilder back in the day, right? In that second fight, I believe it was, right? People making fun of him, calling him he suck and all this shit. But yet, I could do a video while I'm criticizing Gordon Haywood, right? For not playing up to his contract. And look who come to his defense. So, at the end of the day, man, I just think that these types of fights are good for boxing. Because boxing doesn't have enough of these moments. It doesn't have enough of these fights where the people that we really want to see fight are fighting each other. And want to fight each other. And want to put on a good show. And are willing to sacrifice their fucking zeros. But it is what it is. Tell me what you guys think.